Good morning, Panther fans. Now, I don't know what Stu's bragging about over there because
Panther Palooza. Grateful Dead night,
it
which was another idea of mine I brought to the Panthers. This one, I think they had like 3 of them when I was there. This one's October 20th, 2018.
Nice. Well, Stu is interestingly how can I put this? He is taken his he's taken his abuse well yesterday because I think all of the times that he called Carter Verhage the puck hog came home to roost yesterday.
Hey man, keep hogging the puck, Swaggy.
I know, right? I mean, that's all I was saying to Ekblad, man. It's like I'm trying to develop a relationship here. I bitch, you score, you know. But anyway, so
now that you mentioned him, should we start off with?
You could do Stu.
Well,
Stu has
are we going to keep this video all positive? No ragging on anybody. How's that?
No, well, I was.
We'll give him a pass.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not even gonna waste my breath.
When it's 7-0, we're gonna look pretty stupid bitching about something. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I think it finally rained overnight here. How's your tornado watch and all that?
Well, it's still windy as hell, but we're good now. It was weird. We just kept having these waves and nasty thunderstorms just come on over us, and I'm right basically practically on the bay, so we get that bay effect wind, and we get the nasty weather right on shore here. So, but I looked outside this morning, no trees fell, which is unusual. Usually, those first spring storms, but we didn't have a really harsh winter, so wasn't a lot of freeze damage to some trees. So they all stayed up, which is unusual because usually that first spring storm, I woke outside in the morning and I'm like, let me get the chainsaw, but not today.
Cool. So we got what we needed last night, and that was help from. And I knew it was going to happen. We just have to continue to win our games.
Yes,
and just let things fall into place. So obviously the Bruins destroyed the Penguins. Well, they didn't destroy them.
No, it was
that the winning goal from Pasternak actually bounced off the referee.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at the replay, and it went to the Bruins, and boom, one-timer, it's in the net. What I was gonna say was, and I'm watching it now, Tampa destroyed the Islanders.
Yeah.
5-0.
And the Islanders overnight after that loss, they had to go into Carolina. They got the Canes today at 6. So
yeah, and so Carolina's at 105, I believe, and Jersey's at 102.
No, Jersey's at 104.
Jersey at 104 now?
They're 1 point behind, but the Canes have a game in hand.
All right, so they hadn't updated the standings yet. So obviously, it's not like the Canes can sit back and rest. We clinched first place. We got the President's Trophy, like the Bruins, man. If they really wanted to now, they could coast the rest of the way. I don't think they will, but
so
long story short,
if we
get both fighting for their playoffs lives, so maybe we'll get lucky. The thing that and that's good because we're really fighting both of those teams because the Penguins have a game in hand, and let's just assume they win that and they finish 2 points ahead of us. If each team runs the string and wins all their games. So again, Panthers, it's 5 games, man. I know that would end up making it 8 in a row. So why not have that long winning streak that we've been asking for all year? Why not just conveniently have it at the end of the year?
Right.
And then, get in I say legitimately. I mean, the only way that's illegitimate is, is we lose and everybody else loses. But to get in and be in by 1 or 2 points, I mean, wouldn't it be great to get the 7th position?
It's entirely possible. And it's entirely possible that could end us up in a first round against the Devils, which, I mean, if you no disrespect to the Devils, but if you're giving me the choice between the Bruins, Canes, and the Devils, I think everybody's choosing the Devils. Yeah. Bruins and Canes are playoff hardened, you know what I mean? And the Devils are.
Nobody wants to play the Bruins in the first round, bro.
Well, I mean, I'd say if you gave me the choice, right? But if it ends up that way, it ends up that way. Most of the Bruins fans I've seen, the one team they don't want to play is Florida. So
well, I will tell you, John Cooper, in his post-game news conference, made a great comment, and that is, you can't win the Stanley Cup unless you make the playoffs.
Right. Right.
Once you make the playoffs, anything's possible.
Yeah, no, that's
what he was saying. So I guess he was saying, he really didn't care about, first place or, I mean, they've proven year after year.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened last year.
Right.
It's not like they're gunning to win, the division every year anymore. They just want to get in.
Yep.
So that's our philosophy. Let's just get in and, yeah, TCB, baby. Elvis Presley, TCB, taking care of business. So,
well, if we get the luck, if we get the help today, because you mentioned the Penguins have a game in hand, they're taking their game in hand today, and that's against the Flyers. So
you got the Islanders against North Carolina today too?
Got the Islanders, Canes.
And we're off for a couple of days. That's great.
And we're off for a couple of days.
That's great. So let's hope and pray, we get some help. And then the Panthers will be able to think about that for the next couple of days.
Right.
And come out on Tuesday and not fuck around and just bury the Sabres.
Right. Well, look,
who are playing good right now.
Buffalo is not, I mean, don't tell Buffalo they can't get in because I said, don't tell Buffalo they can't get in.
I heard you.
Because they've got 2 games in hand and they're 4 points out.
Exactly.
So on Tuesday, we are going to get a Sabres team that is they ready. They're going to be ready to go.
Man, wouldn't that be a trip if the Panthers and the Sabres?
That's kind of what I think might be happening.
Get in, and the Islanders and the Penguins. We'll talk about. Wow, the New York papers would destroy the Islanders, and
right.
probably the the Pittsburgh papers too, because those teams are not supposed to lose. Man, that would be great. I'd love that.
It could totally be Panthers Sabres. It's so.
Don't forget, I went to college in Buffalo, so I still, have a little bit of sentimental love for the Sabres.
Yeah.
The good old French Connection days.
So, was it Alex Lyon's first career shutout or
yes?
Or was it? Okay. Because there was so much going on in the stream when, Goldie and Randy usually say that right after the horn blows, but very nice.
And you know what? He deserves it, but it's kind of like a culmination of him taking over the team the last 3 games, and just without him, just imagine without Alex Lyon where this team would be. Not only has he done it in the last 3 games,
right,
but there was that other stretch where we were basically dead and buried, and he resurrected the team with that, that little streak that he was on. And he's only that two games he looked bad.
Right.
But I think more importantly, the team looked bad in front of him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as a review of the game, listen, Columbus decimated with injuries.
Right.
You know, going into that game, I would tell you that if you don't win that game, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. It's bad enough we lost once to them earlier in the year, a game we should have had.
Right.
You know, the Panthers should never have been in this situation, but they are. That's reality.
They
But
are.
you know, they should have had a playoff spot locked up. I mean, the Atlantic Division this year is not the hot division it was last year. I mean, if you remember, we talked about it the last video. The Capitals had 100 points,
Right,
to get in that last spot last year.
well, all of the top 3 teams in each division are going to be well over 100 points.
Yep.
It's just a wild card, and it's just more condensed now this year. You know what I mean?
What's
And
interesting? Good.
I'm just gonna say, we've got these last 5 games, and
What's
we only have the one more road game, and that's next Saturday at
Washington.
the Capitol.
Yep.
So,
and that could be a tricky game.
No doubt.
Because the Capitals pretty much are out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to shut down Ovechkin. You shut down Ovechkin, it's pretty much, half the battle right there. But what I was going to say was it's interesting watching these games every night to see the other races. So last night, Dallas plays Colorado.
Yeah.
And they're fighting tooth and nail for the top spot in that division, Central, I think. And they're playing at home, and Colorado ends up winning that game. Nathan McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon. I like the Colorado. And it's like Goldie doing his stuff. And then you got Minnesota and the Preds, I think. And then you got the Kings and Edmonton. Man, we can go through each division and you'd see, there's not really one dominant team other than the Bruins.
Right.
Running away with, their division.
Right.
But there's a lot of close races that are going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, and the Flames are just out of it.
Who?
The Flames are just exactly. Yeah, well, I'm gonna who you there. When I did the podcast on Friday, this was obviously before the last several games. But when I did it, and I wanted to look at the Western Conference because I hadn't looked at the Western Conference for a while. And at the time of the podcast on Friday, the Panthers and Flames had not only the exact same number of points, but the exact same goal differential. So
yeah, except for the fact that the guy we got in the trade, has pretty much triple the points that the guy that we gave up to the Flames has.
Right. No, I just the point being is that I
know
my preseason prediction, my hope for the Flames Panthers Stanley Cup is still alive. They've won 3 straight, and they're just on the outside looking in. So, and I was looking at that because I'm like, look, God help us all if the Flames make the playoffs by a point and we miss. We ain't never going to hear the end of that all summer long. So,
I don't even know if the Flames are going to make it.
No, they're real close.
Yeah, let's pull up. You got that? Pull up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's what I mean. They're real close.
By the way, this is the draft hat from okay, where we go?
The last wild card right now is The Jets, 76 games, 87 points. The Flames have 76 games and 85 points. So they're 2 points out of the 8th seed but they've won 3 straight. So, but the Jets had lost a few, but now they won yesterday. So that's coming down to the very, very end. And then the Preds aren't exactly out because they're 3 points back, but they got a game in hand. And then there's a game. Where is it? This Wednesday, Flames Jets.
Oh, I would love the NHL Network to broadcast that game.
They probably will. That's gonna be and
it's in Winnipeg,
right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's probably where the last Western Conference spot comes down.
Well, Hooby Dooby Doo is gonna get 4 goals that game, and assisted on all of them by Uyghur.
Right. Oh, geez.
Not.
So basically, it's the Sabres on our ass, but the Sabres are almost positioned better than the Islanders and the Penguins. I mean, because almost. They're in decent position. Who do they play?
Yeah, who do they play? Let me put glasses on again.
They got the Panthers in the next game. Then they got a tough one. They got a tough stretch. They got the Panthers. Then they're at the Panthers, at the Wings. Then they've got the Hurricanes at home.
Wait. So they come all the way down.
Right.
They were up in Philly. They fly all the way down to Florida.
Yep.
Then
but they don't play.
They got to fly all the way back to Detroit.
Right.
And then Detroit to Buffalo is like an hour flight.
Yeah,
no biggie.
yeah.
And then
they got the Hurricanes at home. And then at the Rangers, at the Devils. And then they end the season against the Sabres at home and then at the Jackets. So,
okay. Watch the Jackets upset them in that last game. And they missed it by 1 point.
I think, Friday, April 13th, I think that's a day after our last game. Let me see. Our last game is, Thursday the 13th. So we may not, depending on how things go, that we may not know exactly where we are after our last game because Sabres played a day after us and they're right on our ass.
Yeah.
We may not know if it's the 7-8 seed in out. Wouldn't that suck? Who else? What about the Islanders and the Penguins? Do they play after us? Let's see. Islanders' last game is the day before us, so that helps. And then the Penguins. Their last game is the same day as us. So,
yep.
Depending on what the Sabres do.
Look at that. Blue Jackets are in like everybody's.
Yeah, everybody's getting the Jackets the last week of the season. We just got them earlier.
Crazy.
So.
Well.
Look, the only other thing is do you throw Bob out there or do you throw Lyon back out there? And if Lyon goes out there and we lose to the Sabres, is everybody going to come for Maurice's head for throwing Lyon out there?
I won't.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But then where do you draw the line? Like, do you just keep playing Lyon until right? Yeah. I mean, but that's crazy.
I know it is. But just substitute Lyon's name for Knight. They wouldn't hesitate.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. You're not wrong. That's a really good point. I mean, let's look at our games. I mean,
listen, as far as I'm concerned, Alex Lyon has earned his playing time now. He's proven that he can win in a pressure cooker. There wasn't a bigger pressure cooker than that Toronto game.
Right.
And he came through big time. So It's a question of what team shows up in front of them. Because no matter how good a goalie is, as we've known Bob to make, 1 save, 2 save, and then, the third time the guy's, somebody's left all alone to just, plop it over him. How many times have we seen that where Bob's made not just 1 great save, but 2 great saves, and he's laying on his back, and the puck's loose, and Eggplant doesn't cover somebody, and the guy pops it in.
16. I mean, Bob did give up 21 goals in that 4-game losing streak. Not that they're all his fault, but he was clearly getting worn out.
Absolutely.
And
maybe that led to him being sick.
Sure. It absolutely could.
So
absolutely could, man.
So listen, Lyon is he didn't have a big workload yesterday. Again,
right.
Hats off to the players.
Right.
But
so maybe you throw Lyon out there one more against the Sabres, and then you start Bob Thursday against the Senators.
Well, you want to give Bob playing time, but let Bob be. He's got to be 100%.
Right.
So what happens if they throw Bob in and he,
Right.
He throws up a fucking goose egg. I mean, not a goose. The bad word. He sucks the big egg.
Exactly. He sucks
he lets
the
a
egg
goal
plant
in the first 30 seconds. Then what?
Right.
Then do you call for Maurice's head because he put Bob back in?
No, I know.
Always go with the hot goalie.
I mean,
the guy's on a roll right now, and I think the players are playing very confident in front of him.
Right.
It's just evident that, it's just. Listen, that's just my opinion.
You're right. If it was Spencer Knight, if it was Spencer Knight, we'd be saying, okay, that's true. It's just so crazy how the whole year is gone. I mean, to be sitting here.
We had the black hat. I had my black hat of morning on a couple of videos ago. Right. Oh, that was after the Ottawa game, right?
Right. And now we're winning these games without Bennett, so hopefully, I mean, maybe by Tuesday he can be ready. I mean, it's one thing's for sure. Nobody's ever going to believe Paul Maurice when he says day to day anymore. I don't know why they can't just tell us, he's going to miss a couple of weeks. Right? I mean, there were 2 weeks ago, there were games where he said, I'm pretty sure he'll be there Monday. And that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he did that with
he did that with Barkov too.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ekblad's the only one that's come back early. Yeah, everybody else, it seems they've given rest to.
Of course, we all want to know what's going on, but they're never going to. The reason why they don't specify what the injury is, because they don't want the other team, like for instance, if it's if it's a left shoulder, and Bennett goes in the corner, listen, not that these guys want to hurt the other players, but they want to take advantage of their weaknesses.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they keep it vague right now. But
right.
I just want to know what is it, lower body, upper body?
No, it is lower body. They have said that.
No.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Well,
we
need to get him.
But the main thing I see keeping him out as long as he's been out is a groin pull.
Yeah. Right.
These guys, how many times you've heard of guys playing with broken foots? True. That or they have, an ankle that they have to tape up really heavy. But I mean, there's been plenty of times when, especially in the Stanley Cup playoffs or in the finals, where after it's over and they've won the cup, it's announced so and so was playing with a broken foot the last 2 games.
Yeah.
That's how tough hockey players are. So it's got to be something that they can't tape up and shoot up and fix.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But the fact that we're winning without him is means that guys are just stepping up.
Well, and like you said to me, the forward line was definitely better for, I mean, but level of competition they're up against, you know what I mean? So that's a couple games in a row. I think Giovanni Smith is drawing penalties behind the net. So
yeah, I told you last night I saw him playing a better game.
Right.
He doesn't look lost. There's so many games where you just look lost out there. Like, what's my purpose?
Right. Well, I think sometimes it's lack of playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's got to be tough to get 5 minutes a night. You get 2 short shifts a period. It's like you can't get into the groove of anything doing that. So I did notice them on the ice a little bit more. Hopefully that, if we're gonna finish this off and get in, we need 4 viable lines. So, but I have a sneaking suspicion they're gonna day-to-day Bennett all the way, and then if we make the playoffs, then he'll try to gut it out as long as he can. But that if I don't know, it kind of looks that way to me.
Well, we're enjoying right now a hot Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah,
and he's got to continue to be hot. Because if that faucet gets turned off, I don't want to even say it. He's just, it's okay. He doesn't have to get 4 goals a night, but he's got to keep popping them in,
right?
Because
him
and Tkachuk are a double-barreled shotgun right now. And hey, you can't take anything away from Reinhart.
No, he actually shot and scored
29. Well, he fanned on the first shot. This is that power play goal. And, I haven't been a big fan of Tkachuk being, behind the net or back to the side of the net. But now I see what they're doing. They're just trying to, bing, bing, bing. They're trying to move it around Tkachuk to Reinhart in that bumper spot.
Right.
So
it makes sense because they're not going to just let Tkachuk, they don't know who to cover. You know what I mean? They're already a man short on that power play, and they don't know who to cover. And Tkachuk is so good with getting that puck out. And Reinhart just has to bury more. That's all. You know?
The only substitution I would make is put Forsling in.
Yeah, I know. I don't disagree there. I don't.
And have Forsling in the Kucherov spot. So it's a one-timer from the right side.
Well, he was doing 2 defensemen yesterday. He had Montour and Ekblad out there a couple of times together. Why you would do that and not put Forsling out there unless you're leaving Forsling for the second pair, I guess, for the second power play unit. But he hasn't put Duke back out there either. And that's the other thing is, he needs to score. He needs to score a goal. Yeah, what did he get? 3 assists? He would have had 4 assists, but they took the first one away.
Well, the last assist, that tic-tac-toe Barkov to declare to Verhaeghe was, that's the way it's done. It was perfect.
Right.
But I did tell you when Tkachuk got, I think, his second one, I said he's going to get 4 tonight, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they kept feeding him the puck, so now he's just,
4. He's on a roll. I want to see Chucky get to 40. So we have 2 40-goal scorers.
Yeah.
But Reinhardt's got 29. So, let him get. When there was I don't know, was it last year we had like 5 or 6 guys that have scored?
Well, yeah, Duke, Huberdeau, Reinhardt, Barkov, Verhaeghe all had more than 30.
Yeah. Barkov had 39 goals last year, and he only played like 75% of the games.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So,
all right. Well, listen.
All right.
We won. That's the big thing. 2 points.
Yep. And now comes the toughest part of the year. Finish it off. And Buffalo is going to come in that game. Let me tell you, that game If you get a chance, whoever, get out there and show the team some support, because Buffalo is going to
Yeah.
be.
I'm bummed. I really thought I was going to be going to that game. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously, right now, but unfortunately, I'm not.
Oh, maybe you'll get lucky for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then I got something we're going to work on over summer, but I don't want to give it away just yet.
All right. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, guys. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am going to do my taxes today.
Oh.
I better do it while I have the money in the bank account. I don't know if I'm going to owe, if I'm getting money, but I don't know. I don't know. All the other years I used to know because it was just the eBay stuff. But this year, with the YouTube money and Karen's money, I don't know. So I'm gonna do the taxes today. And so if I'm not back Monday, it means I died. So, or the IRS just came and took me away.
Well, thanks to all the live stream viewers for the super chats. I don't know,
Oh yeah,
yesterday, but we love you guys, man.
Yeah, no, seriously.
We got a great team, great support.
Yeah,
love the comments.
Yeah,
love the jokes.
We're gonna do a commercial for Paul's. He has a pest control, like animal pest control business. So him and I are gonna get together. We're gonna actually do a commercial because he keeps dropping big amounts of money. And then he said, this channel, he said, Flying Fluffy Sports, sponsored by Manscaped and Bandit Pest Control, I think is the name.
Yeah, I said,
dude, yeah, let's do a commercial. Let's do a commercial.
I have another idea, but
yeah. So
I keep saying Flying Fluffy Hockey, man. That's
I know. That's okay. See, what we have to get past is the Panthers part. What we need it to be is Flying Fluffy Sports, the #1 sports podcast in the world. That's that, and then we need it to be. We just need to speak it into existence.
Yeah, but there are other podcasts that have been around longer and they're bigger.
That's the point. The point is you speak it into existence. Yeah, because if Flying Fluffy Sports becomes the #1 sports podcast in the world, I could even pay you. People, you see what I'm saying? If you're the #1 sports podcast in the world, I got employees. I could pay you. Paul doesn't have to go broke trying to make sure I can pay my bills. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll speak it into existence. I'm just saying, because I mean, I love the Panthers. I do. I wish we had the numbers. I wish we had the numbers of the fans, but they need to win. They definitely need to win. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that.
I want to be #1 in our niche market, which is Florida Panthers hockey. So
yes,
you do your thing, whatever. I'm associated with Flying Fluffy Hockey, the #1 Panther podcast in the world. So
okay, so if Flying Fluffy, well, so what you're saying, what I'm hearing is that if Flying Fluffy Sports becomes the #1 sports podcast in the world, you're not interested. You don't need to get paid from that money, just the Panther
Well, the
stuff.
thing is, I don't follow the other sports.
I know.
So what contribution can I make other than the Panthers?
Well, I'm sure
I don't like football.
Right.
Basketball, I could give two shits about.
We'll
baseball's boring.
We'll have your own show. What we'll do is we'll have what time do you get up in the morning and watch the highlights?
Oh, I'm usually up 6:30, 7.
Okay, so we'll give you a 6 o'clock live stream slot with Stu in the morning reacting to the previous night's NHL highlights.
All right. Listen, for right now, you keep your dream. That's cool. But for right now, let's concentrate on Florida Panther hockey because we're so close
I know.
Oh, hockey gods, give us a break today.
I know. That's not what I'm saying. What
I
I'm
know what you're
saying is
saying.
I'm
We,
looking 5 years in the future, and I'm looking at real estate prices in Florida. And trust me, we
all
need
right.
to be the number one.
In the meantime, we're still stuck on 6,100 and change, and we got to get to 10,000, and we're a ways from that. We got to get to 7,000. How come we're just stagnated?
When the Panthers win the cup, and I am able to put out the video where I predicted that they were going to win the cup, and then they win the cup, then we will have our day in the sunshine.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you again. I'll see you again tomorrow.